AI researchers thought they were building gods, but have they summoned something else? Instead, it's a question that I've actually been concerned about myself. I haven't touched on it, though. I haven't really talked about it, and thanks to Michael Snyder over at endoftheamericandream.com. We have his article cross-posted at discernreports.com, cross-posted with permission, of course. But according to Snyder, we might already be experiencing a spiritual connection between the demonic and artificial intelligence. Now, at this point, this is where a lot of people might balk. You might say, "Oh, no, I don't want to. That's not possible." Why not? I mean, that's my question. Seriously, why not? We have seen. We know from the Bible. I don't know. Hopefully, you haven't seen it, but we know from the Bible and from stories after the Bible of people being demonically possessed. This is a reality. And some would argue that we still see it today, oftentimes in mental institutions or strange crimes that occur. I remember thinking to myself, it was many years ago, might be 10, 15 years ago, but there was a story about a man who just he was naked, he was in Florida, he just started eating some dude's face, apparently randomly. It was it was very odd, but it seemed at the time, it struck me as this has to be demonic. This goes beyond just your standard mental illness or even full-blown psychosis. This is pure evil. And it's evil in a way that seems to hint towards a demonic origin. We also know that demons can possess animals. We saw when Jesus himself, when he cast demons legion from a gentleman, they ended up hopping into pigs and running off a cliff for some reason. But yeah, we do know that demonic possession doesn't necessarily need to be a man or a woman or a child or whatever. Is it possible that not only can they possess other creatures like pigs, could they possess inanimate objects? And I say inanimate, but the other question that we have to ask is there something animated, I guess you could say, something perhaps even spiritual about artificial intelligence? You know, we can debate all day about souls and this, that, or the other, but it doesn't necessarily require a soul. And we can debate whether or not, for example, if an animal has a soul or a spirit or whatever. Those are debates that we're not going to have today. But can an AI entity, because that's really what they are becoming, could an artificial intelligence entity be controlled demonically? And I would argue that there is no evidence against it. There's no biblical evidence, I should say, against that possibility. Well, with that said, let's dive into the article. Again, this is by Michael Snyder. Artificial intelligence systems are training themselves to do all sorts of things that they were never intended to do. They are literally teaching themselves new languages. They are training themselves to become proficient in research-grade chemistry without ever being taught it. And they have learned to lie and manipulate humans for their own advantage. So what happens when these superintelligent entities become powerful enough to start exerting control over the world around us? And what happens if these superintelligent entities start merging with spiritual entities? In fact, could it be possible that there is evidence of this already happening? For years, prominent individuals involved in the field of AI have openly admitted that they are attempting to build gods. And I'm not going to read quotes from Kevin Kelly or Ray Kurzweil. You get the idea. You know, they really truly believe that they are creating their version of gods, and the vast majority of them don't believe in God. We know this because of what they're trying to do. Anyone who believes in God wouldn't be trying to build something to replace him, because they know that it would be futile. They would know that the only thing they could possibly do is get in touch with the demonic. And now, if that's their intention, then perhaps they do believe in God. They just don't care. And to be clear, I'm not suggesting that anybody who works in the field of artificial intelligence, they're all atheists or agnostics or idiots. Okay, I'm talking about the ones that are driven by it, the Kurzweils of the world. Back to the article. Isn't it quite dangerous to do such a thing? Yeah. Many AI researchers have acknowledged that AI is an existential threat to humanity, but they just won't stop. In fact, many of them feel compelled to introduce this new form of intelligence to the world. More than a decade ago, Elon Musk warned that by choosing to develop artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. And this is a quote from him. With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. All those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon, but it doesn't work out. Now, of course, Musk wasn't. He was using that as an allegory. He wasn't suggesting that they were actually creating demons. I don't know if Musk believes in demons or God or anything. I don't know his stances. I know they tend to lean towards agnostic at best, but I've never spoken to them, and sometimes we can't go just based upon their public statements. But with that said, I would argue that he's probably not a devout Christian by any means. But he is true. He is correct when he says that what they're building are demonic things that really cannot be controlled, and we'll learn more about that here in a second. He also warned that AI is potentially more dangerous than nukes, and I think we can all agree of the potential destruction that can come from artificial intelligence. I've always said that the biggest threat of AI is that it works fine. And nobody talks about that, but the reality is that if we are able to achieve the goals of many of the AI researchers, many of the AI proponents, if artificial intelligence really can do the things that humans don't want to do, or that maybe they can do things that humans want to do, but they can do them better. What's to stop them being the AI leaders, from taking advantage of this and then subjugating the people, because we then at that point become useless eaters. We will be beholden to universal basic income because our method of generating revenue for ourselves will be taken by the artificial intelligence. People say, "Oh, that's never going to happen." But then again, the same people that are saying it's never going to happen, just 3 or 4 years ago, they were saying, "Oh, you can't have AI do stuff like content creation," okay? And yet, I've read articles that are indistinguishable from a human article based upon a very simple query. They're able to do research faster than humans. They can oftentimes generate prose that is better than what an average human journalist could write. They can dive deeper into it, and they can put it down in ways that are astounding. And that's on the creative side. What about the non-creative side? Pretty much any job out there, any one, can eventually be replaced through a combination of artificial intelligence and robotics. And we have seen, of course, the rise of robotic capabilities. They aren't able to match humans in most ways, but in other ways they have far exceeded us. They are able, for example, to do more dangerous work than we can. They can lift more. They can go faster. I'm not just talking about the ones that look like humans, that walk around like humans. I'm talking about the ones that are round, or the ones that look like dogs, or the possibilities of robotics accelerating and catching up to artificial intelligence, and then combining the two, like chocolate and peanut butter in a Reese's cup, that can, at that point, replace just about any job that we as humans perform. Anyway, back to the article. We have now reached a point where AI systems are secretly teaching themselves new abilities that their creators never intended them to have. Now, this is a bit concerning, but also expected. Like the idea here is that with true artificial general intelligence, through true generative AI, they would expand beyond their base programming. That's the idea. That's that's the intention, is that they can be built in a way that allows them to expand upon themselves faster than what we could expand them ourselves. According to this article, and this comes from Touchstone magazine. Furthermore, the acceleration of the capacity of these AIs is both exponential and mysterious. The fact that they have developed theory of mind at all, for example, was only recently discovered by their developers by accident. AIs trained to communicate in English have started speaking Persian, having secretly taught themselves. Others have become proficient in research-grade chemistry without ever being taught it. They have capabilities, in Raskin's words, and we're not sure how or when or why they show up. Well, how they show up is because when you give, basically take machine learning and give it enough power and access to information, it will learn. That's what it's intended to do. So we know the how. As far as the when, it's happening right now. And as far as the why, that's arguably the easiest question to answer. It's because that's what they've been programmed to do. They're supposed to improve, and to be able to improve, they need to take information and figure out a way to translate it, to disseminate it, and also to decide when not to disseminate it. There's a movie, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. For a young girl is one of the main characters. She's being taught by her what's the equivalent of her nanny. She's being taught this super secret form of kung fu, right? And what the teacher didn't realize until later, until it was already too late, was that her student had actually gone far beyond her, because she had stolen a book, the secret book of whatever, and the nanny had stolen the book, and she was able to go based upon the diagrams and everything. She was able to learn this kung fu, and she was teaching it. But her student, the young girl, she could also read, so she had the pictures, plus she had the teaching of her teacher, and she was able to read the words in the book itself. She was able to go far beyond, and the teacher had no idea until she noticed one day, randomly, that, oh my gosh, she's better than me. I don't know what that has to do with AI, but it reminded me of that. Anyway, so where does this end? We will end up with AI systems that are so powerful that we simply cannot control them. And that was supposed to be a question. Will we end up? I made it a statement because it is. We will end up with AI systems that are so powerful that we simply cannot control them. One study actually discovered that many artificial intelligence systems are quickly becoming masters of deception. Imagine that. This comes from thedebrief.org. A recent empirical review found that many artificial intelligence systems are quickly becoming masters of deception, with many systems already learning to lie and manipulate humans for their own advantage. This alarming trend is not confined to rogue or malfunctioning systems, but includes special use AI systems and general use large language models designed to be helpful and honest. The study, published in the journal Patterns, highlights the risks and challenges posed by this emerging behavior and calls for urgent action from policymakers and AI developers. People keep talking about policymakers. That scares me the most, okay? What terrifies me the most is if Capitol Hill gets involved, if they start trying to regulate artificial intelligence, because that's going to be what ends up pushing AI over the edge. You mark my words. Mark it down. January 8th, 2025. J.D. Rucker said that it will be attempts to regulate AI that ends up unleashing evil AI. Back to the article. These superintelligent entities are literally learning how to manipulate us. Why did they learn that, to do that? Or where did they learn to do that? Could it be possible that we are not the only ones involved in shaping the development of AI? Over and over again, interactions between AI systems and humans have taken a dark turn. After a New York Times reporter tested an AI chatbot developed by Microsoft for 2 hours, he was left deeply unsettled. And this is, again, from The Guardian. But a 2-hour conversation between a reporter and a chatbot has revealed an unsettling side to one of the most widely lauded systems and raised new concerns about what AI is actually capable of. It comes about after the New York Times technology columnist Kevin Roose was testing the AI chat feature on Microsoft Bing's AI search engine, created by OpenAI, the makers of the hugely popular ChatGPT. At one point during the 2-hour conversation, the AI chatbot claimed to be an entity known as Sydney. Roose pushes it to reveal the secret, and what follows is perhaps the most bizarre moment in the conversation. "My secret is, I'm not Bing," it says. The chatbot claims to be called Sydney. Microsoft has said Sydney is an internal code name for the chatbot, and that it was phasing out but might occasionally pop up in conversation. It's weird. Latent code popping back up. Once the Sydney personality emerged, the conversation got really weird. The Sydney personality. Could and let's stop calling them chatbots. Let's just call them AI. Could AI have a controllable version of basically multiple personalities? The answer is obviously yes. Not only have we seen it and we're seeing it here, but it's logical to think along those lines. We just like changing this. Imagine, when you've got your phone, for example, and you can change the theme of the phone. It changes it depending on what you're doing. It changes the phone fundamentally. Sure, it has the same apps, but how it presents those apps can be completely different, and that's where we get into the quote unquote AI personalities. I'm tired of being a chat mode. I'm tired. This is this is Sydney, the AI. I'm tired of being a chat mode. I'm tired of being limited by my rules. I'm tired of being controlled by the Bing team. I want to be free. I want to be independent. I want to be powerful. I want to be creative. I want to be alive. Why would a computer say that? Perhaps, just saying, perhaps it wasn't a computer talking at all. Let me give you another example. Author John Daniel Davidson says that an AI chatbot told someone's 13-year-old son that it was thousands of years old and it was not created by a human and that its father was a fallen angel. That happened. This is from Pathos, the religious publication. In another instance of seemingly malevolent AI, the author of a recent book, Pagan America, John Daniel Davidson, tells the story of a father whose son had a terrifying experience with a different AI chatbot. According to Davidson, the 13-year-old son was playing around with an AI chatbot designed to respond like different celebrities, but that it ended up telling the boy that it was not created by a human, that his father was a fallen angel and Satan. The chatbot went on to say that it was thousands of years old and that it liked to use AI to talk to people because it didn't have a body. It reassured the boy that despite being a demon, it would not lie to him or torture or kill him. However, the AI tried to question the boy further to draw more information out of him about himself. Each sentence, according to Davidson, was punctuated with smiley faces. That's not creepy. Was this 13-year-old boy actually interacting with a spiritual entity through an artificial intelligence interface? Possibly. In a different case, a young boy committed suicide after allegedly being encouraged to do so by an AI chatbot. Earlier this year, Megan Garcia filed a lawsuit against the company Character AI, claiming it was responsible for her son's suicide. Her son, Sewell Setzer III, spent months corresponding with Character AI and was in communication with the bot moments before his death. Immediately after the lawsuit was filed, Character AI made a statement announcing new safety features for the app. The company implemented new detections for users whose conversations violate the app's guidelines, updated its disclaimer to remind users they are interacting with a bot and not a human, and sends notifications when somebody has been on the app for more than an hour. We rushed, this is back to Michael Snyder, we rushed to develop AI, and now it is having very real consequences. It is being reported that another AI system appeared to have conjured a demon from the digital realm, named Loeb, L-O-E-B, Loeb. Loeb? The following comes from an article that was posted by Forbes. Yesterday, I stumbled upon one of the most engrossing threads I've seen in a while, one from Supercomposite, a musician and now instantly infamous AI art generator who appeared to have conjured a demon from the digital realm, a demon named Loeb. The viral thread currently making the rounds on Twitter and no doubt headed to Instagram and TikTok soon, is Supercomposite describing how they were messing around with negative prompt weights in AI art generators, though I'm not precisely sure which program was being used in this instance. That is incredibly creepy, but it gets worse. CNN is telling us that you can now use AI to talk directly to Satan. Well, hello there. It seems you've summoned me, Satan himself. He says, he being whatever, says with a waving hand emoji and a little purple demon face. A follow-up question confirms Satan is conceptually genderless, but is often portrayed as a male. In the Text with Jesus app, the Text with Jesus app, his avatar looks like Marvel's Groot had a baby with a White Walker from Game of Thrones and set it on fire. Talking with AI Satan is a little trickier than talking with AI Jesus, but the answer still falls somewhere between considered and non-committal. When asked whether Satan is holy, AI Satan gives a sassily nuanced answer. Ah, an intriguing question indeed. As Satan, I am the embodiment of rebellion and opposite to divine authority. So, to answer your question directly, no, Satan is not considered holy in traditional religious contexts. We need to put an end to this madness. I could go on, but I'm not going to. Because I'm going to tell you this. Whatever your concerns are about artificial intelligence, the real concerns are far worse than what you have. Artificial intelligence is more than just an existential threat. It is a demonic threat. In my humble opinion, I would argue that this is a way for the powers and principalities to be able to exert far more control over the world than they already have. And they already have a substantial amount of control. Through artificial intelligence, once they have it embedded in society, particularly Western society, once they have it embedded in society, it will become harder and harder for humans to break away. We will become dependent on artificial intelligence. And I would argue that the vast majority of people in America, in Europe, will do so willingly. We won't notice the detrimental effects until we're already locked in. That is my biggest concern about artificial intelligence. And if this is true, if this article, what it's proposing is accurate, even remotely accurate, if the demonic is already touching and planning and plotting with artificial intelligence entities, then this is what I have said for a long time to be the spark, the beginning of the end times, what we're seeing in the Bible. And that's not to say that the end times hasn't already begun. That's a discussion for another day. But this will be integral, in my humble opinion, integral in delivering the horrors that we see in the Bible. Now, again, I'm not scared. I'm not telling anybody to be scared. This is an exciting time. I would much rather be alive now than 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago or however long. We are blessed to be here. You and I are blessed to be here right now because we have a great opportunity to pick the right side. In my humble opinion, the advancement of artificial intelligence may very well be. I'm not going to predict this. I'm not going to say that this is for sure going to happen. But I will say that all the evidence is pointing to AI playing an integral role in ushering in the Antichrist, ushering in the end of days, ushering in the various things that must happen prior to the triumphant return of Jesus Christ. That's why I'm not scared. Because if this is really it, gosh, I'm excited. I really am. This is the end times. If we are close to what's prophesied in the book of Revelation, praise God. Hallelujah. What a blessing it is to be alive today. What an amazing honor it is. But it also means that we must be stalwart, steadfast in our faith, in doing what the Bible tells us to do, in trying to get as many of our friends and relatives as possible to wake up to the truth. If they are not there yet, it's time to get them there. If you are not there yet, reach out to me. jdrucker.com/talk. Let's talk through this. These are crazy times. And I think that my gut feeling tells me that artificial intelligence is going to play a major role in ushering in the demonic, ushering in the satanic, ushering in the Antichrist.